we understood what is a bank, banking, etc. So bank means what? A company which is into the business of banking in India. And banking means what? Accepting deposits from public for two purpose, either lending that money further or for investing that money in some activity. Okay, and that deposit which bank is accepting from the public, that should be repayable on demand, order, or otherwise. Okay, like nowadays you can withdraw the money through ATM also. No, this definition was framed in 1949. Okay, this definition was framed in 1949, and see the how it is framed. It is still relevant in today's time also. See how the government has framed the definition in 1949 also, because at that time they knew that there will be in future advanced payment options will be developed, so they therefore use the word otherwise also. Okay, in this otherwise everything will be covered, like your ATM. Nowadays new payment structures are there, no? Paytm, UPI, various UPI are there, Google Pay. So all these things will be covered in this otherwise. So with such depth, definition was framed in 1949 only. Okay. So what is the basic functions of banks? Transferring money from one account to the another accounts. Okay, sale and purchase of foreign exchange. The banks are authorized dealers for foreign exchange, and you know that in India you can buy or sell foreign exchange only through an authorized dealer. Otherwise, that transaction is a prohibited transaction. So if you want to buy or sell foreign currency, you will have to go through authorized dealers only, and banks are authorized dealers. So banks will facilitate selling and purchasing foreign exchange, collecting the checks, clearing the checks, advisory functions. Nowadays banks give customer advisory functions also, specialized advisory functions. Another important function is providing locker facility. Okay, underwriting the shares and debentures. This is also very important function of bank. Okay, so these are some of the important function of bank which we have already discussed. Dealing in money, accepting deposit. Deposit must be withdrawable. It is commercial in nature. Commercial banks are profit oriented. Okay, commercial banks function on a profit motive. Banks are connecting link between the borrowers and the lenders of money. So people who save money in the bank, they are having surplus money. Okay, or there should be an habit of saving. Okay, salaried people normally try that they will save every month some amount. Okay, so they give the money to the bank. And some other categories of people are there, business category people. They will require money for various projects, activity, business transactions, etc. So for that they will borrow from the bank. So instead of borrower and lenders meeting directly to each other, bank act as a middleman, link between these two. Okay, so borrowers and lenders will not know each other. People, salaried people, etc., will deposit money in the bank, and that money will be used by bank for giving as a loan to the businessman for their furtherance of the business, investment in various projects, okay, etc. And banking law says that in India, bank should always add the word bank to its name to enable the people to know that it is a bank that is dealing in money. So every bank, if you will see, it will have the word bank in its name. Okay, this is a compulsory requirement as per the Banking Regulation Act 1949. Okay, every bank which is into the business of banking should add the word bank, and no other business should add the word bank to its name. So two conditions are there actually. Every company which is doing banking business should add the word bank to its name, and no other company which is not doing banking business should add bank to its name, word bank to its name. So these two requirements are there in the Banking Regulation Act. Then we have discussed about the types of bank, scheduled bank and non-scheduled bank. Scheduled banks are those banks which are covered under the second schedule to the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934. So we have understood if any bank's name is there in the Reserve Bank of India Act Schedule 2, it will become a scheduled bank. And those banks which are not covered in schedule of Reserve Bank of India Act 1934, it will become a non-scheduled bank. Okay. Nationalized banks are scheduled banks only. So in case of cooperative banks, you will have to say whether it is a scheduled bank or not. Normally, below the name only it will be written that it is a scheduled bank or non-scheduled bank, etc. in case of cooperative banks. But as far as nationalized banks are concerned, there is no question of non-scheduled bank, all are scheduled banks only. Okay, we have seen about the central bank. Central bank for India is Reserve Bank. Central bank means the apex bank of India, means top bank, which will control all other banks in India. So it is the apex bank in India, which will control the all commercial banks in India. So which is the Central Bank of India? RBI. Reserve Bank of India is the central bank of India. Okay, like in US, we are having the federal bank, no? Central bank. So in India, it is RBI. Cooperative banks, main purpose of cooperative banks is to cater to the needs of agriculture sector and allied activities. So cooperative banks are mainly promoted for promoting social welfare by giving loans at a concessional rate. Okay, and cooperative banks are governed by Cooperative Societies Act, by the State Governments Act. Okay, and commercial banks are governed by Banking Regulation Act. Commercial banks are profit in nature. They will pay interest to the depositor, charge interest from the borrowers. So loans interest will always be more than the savings account fixed deposit interest. So that difference will be the profit for the bank or surplus for the bank. Industrial Development Bank we have discussed, provide medium and long-term funds to business units for purpose of expansion and modernization. Okay, Exchange Bank, facilitating the foreign exchange transactions. Okay, financing foreign trade, discounting bills of exchange, giving letter of credits, etc. These are functions of the exchange banks. Regional rural banks. See, word itself indicate that it is a rural bank, means it will be catering to the needs of small and marginal farmers, agricultural laborers, rural artisans, etc. Okay, and capital structure of the RRB is also given here. 50% by central government, 15% by the state government, and 35% by the sponsored bank. Regional rural banks were established in the year 1975. These are some of the new types of bank. Savings bank. So as the name itself indicates, main objective of saving bank is to encourage savings of the people, especially in the rural areas. Okay, like postal saving bank, commercial banks, cooperative banks, these are savings bank. Main objective of savings bank will be to encourage saving of the people, especially in rural areas. Okay, this much comfortable, everybody? Any confusion is there? So now another type of bank is there? Yeah, thank you. So another type of bank is there. This is a new concept actually, which is payment bank. Okay, it is a new model of banking. Okay, payment banks is a recently developed concept, new model of banking. This system or model of banking was conceptualized by Reserve Bank of India. Obviously, because Reserve Bank of India is the apex banking body in India. Okay, so any decision regarding banks will be in the hands of authority of the Reserve Bank of India only. Okay, nowadays in news also you might have heard RBI is giving notices to various banks that this is not proper in your bank, this system is not proper, etc. Why? Because RBI is the controlling authority and it is given the right under the Banking Regulation Act to take action against those banks which are functioning against the guidelines of RBI. Okay, that's why every bank, commercial bank in India, should be bound by RBI guidelines. So if RBI gets to know, come to know that some bank is not following their instructions, guidelines, etc., they can take action against those banks. Okay, there is a stringent provision given under Banking Regulation Act. Okay, which gives power to the RBI to call for information, inspect the bank, okay, appoint board of directors in the banks if they are defaulting in following their instructions. Okay, so payment bank is what? Payment bank is a new model. It was conceptualized by Reserve Bank of India. Now, why this model of banking was conceptualized by RBI? The main aim of this bank is to offer financial services to small business and low income people. So main target area of this payment bank is to offer financial services to small businesses and low income people. Okay, because financial inclusion term you might have heard of, to bring all the people into the banking channel. This is a very important task which government is trying to bring all the people from city to rural areas. So all the people should be covered under banking channel. So they should also get proper financial services. So that is called as financial inclusion. Okay. So this payment bank main objective was to target the small businesses and low income people for offering financial services. Okay, it is like any other banks as it can carry out most of the banking functions such as remittance service, mobile banking, ATM cards, net banking, etc. So it is like normal bank only, but main target group of this bank is the small business and the low income people. Okay, so it can do all activities, carry out most of the banking functions like remittance services, mobile banking, ATM cards, net banking, etc. Everything it can do, but one small restriction is given here, but it is not allowed to issue loans and credit cards. Okay, it cannot give loan and issue credit card. Okay. Similarly, it can accept demand deposits only up to rupees 1 lakh. Okay, so demand deposit means FDs, term deposits, they are FDs. So it can accept FDs, demand deposits only up to 1 lakh. Otherwise, it can do all function, remittance service, mobile banking, ATM card, net banking, etc. All this will do, but two conditions are there. not issue loans and credit cards, and demand deposit, it can accept only up to 1 lakh rupees. Okay, Indian Post Payment Bank. Indian Post Payment Bank. These are examples of payment bank. Indian Post Payment Bank, Airtel Payment Bank. Some time ago, advertisement was also launched, no, through Airtel that they are having payment bank, etc. Okay, Paytm Payment Bank. These are all examples of active payment banks to the date. Okay. Now another type of bank, Exim Bank, which is known as Export Import Bank. So Exim means export and import. So EX means export, IM means import. So Exim Bank is Export Import Bank. So as the name indicates, this bank's objective will be to provide financial assistance to exporters and importers. Obviously, through name only you can come to know what will be the objective of that bank. Export Import Bank, what can be the objective? Provide financial assistance to exporters and importers. Okay. Next is the Small Industries Development Bank of India. Small Industries Development Bank of India. So Small Industries Development Bank of India was set up on 2nd April 1990. You should keep this term in mind. It can come in MCQ. Small Industries Development Bank was established or set up on 2nd April 1990 under an act of Indian Parliament. So it is a statutory body. So any organization or body which is established under an act of Indian Parliament will become a statutory body. Okay. So since this Small Industries Development Bank was set up under an act of Indian Parliament, it is a statutory body. Okay. So what is the purpose of this bank? Principal act as a principal financial institution. Principal means main financial institution for promotion, financing, and development of micro, small, and medium enterprise sectors. Okay. Nowadays, government is giving more focus on this sector, micro, small, and medium enterprise. Okay. Recently, they have revised the category of this sector also. Which industries will be covered under micro, small, and medium enterprise. For 2 sectors they have given. One is the manufacturing sector and the service sector. They have separately given. How to classify a business will be micro, small, or medium enterprise. So nowadays they are given more importance by our government. Okay. So Small Industries Development Bank main objective is to act as a principal financial institution, main financial institution for promoting, financing, and developing the MSME sector, that is micro, small, and medium enterprise. Okay. Then next is a NABARD, which is a National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. NABARD is the apex bank for rural banking sectors in India. Like RBI is there, no? It is the bank, apex bank for commercial banks in India, you can say. Cooperative banks, commercial banks. It is apex bank for such institution. But as rural banking is concerned, NABARD is the apex bank for the rural banking in India. Okay. So regional rural banks we have seen, no? Main objective is to provide loans to small and marginal farmers, artisans, etc. in rural area. So regional rural banks will be, apex authority will be National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. Okay, this much comfortable about the types of bank we have completed. We will continue our discussion. So first is the fixed deposit. We have seen fixed deposit means fixed amount is kept for a fixed period of time bearing fixed interest rate. Here everything will be fixed. Time will be fixed, rate will also be fixed, and amount is also fixed. One time investment you do, for example, 1 lakh rupees for 3 years you do at 5% interest. This is a fixed deposit. So that amount will be deposited for 3 years. 1 lakh is the amount, fixed amount, and after 3 years you will get the amount back with interest. So this is the fixed deposit. And when you deposit the money in the fixed deposit, you will get a FDR receipt, fixed deposit receipt. It is known as FDR. Rate of interest is comparatively more compared to saving bank in fixed deposit, and you can get a loan against this deposit receipt. Okay, some percentage you can get as a loan against this fixed deposit. Then is the recurring deposit. In recurring deposit, every month you have to deposit fixed sum of money. This is a recurring deposit. So recurring deposit is normally operated by salaried persons and businessmen having regular income. Okay, certain fixed sum of money is deposited into account every month. Okay, suppose 60 months recurring deposit you have taken. So every month for 60 months you will deposit 500 rupees, 500 rupees, 500 rupees, whatever amount you have fixed in the beginning. Same amount you should deposit every month for 60 months. Suppose if you have planning to deposit 1000 rupees every month, you can deposit 1000 every month in a recurring deposit. So in recurring deposit, amount will be fixed, interest will be fixed. Inter will be fixed, and rate of interest will be higher compared to savings account. Okay, and after this maturity period, you will get the amount along with the interest. After the maturity date, accumulated amount with interest is paid after the maturity date. Separate passbook is provided to know the position of the RD account. So here you will get the passbook for recurring deposit account. Okay. Another is the savings account. Everybody will have a savings account, so no need of much discussion in saving account. Saving account is generally operated by persons who earn regular or fixed income, such as salary or wages. Okay, so it is main objective of saving account is to encourage the or inculcate the habit of saving among the people. Okay, okay, there is a popular saying, no, that you should spend after what is left after saving. So first priority should be savings. Some percentage of your monthly income you should first save, then you should spend. Okay, there is a popular saying in finance, theory in finance also, you can say spend what is left after saving. So first priority you should give to savings. So that's why savings account plays an important role in encouraging the or inculcating the habit of saving among the people. Okay, these deposit accounts are meant for purpose of maximum savings. Restrictions on withdrawals is there. Low interest rate is there. Okay, because liquidity will be there in the savings account. Whenever you can go and withdraw. So ultimately, a rate of interest will be low only. In FD or a recurring deposit, you cannot withdraw. There is a ceiling. You can withdraw, but it will not be productive if you withdraw in between. So if you have put the money for 3 years, if you will withdraw after that only, you will get the interest. But in savings account, there is no restriction. Anytime you can go in the banking hours, you can go and withdraw, or you can do the NEFT transactions anytime nowadays. So that's why, since liquidity is there in the savings account, you will get low interest only. Okay. We will understand this reason also. Interest is credited monthly, quarterly, half yearly, yearly basis, depending upon bank. Normally, banks give quarterly interest. Okay, so every four months or three months, you will get the interest in savings account. How interest is calculated in a saving account, that is covered in chapter number 3. So at that time, while doing chapter number 3, we will understand how banks calculate interest on savings bank account. Practically, we will do some on how to calculate interest on savings account passbook. Okay, passbook facility, balance on SMS, account statement, etc. Facilities are provided to account holders. Okay, these are all general. Rate of interest is very low. Here it is set 4 to 6%, but nowadays it is less than that only. It is around 2% or something like that only. Okay. Okay, saving account holders get ATM, debit, RuPay card, etc. Okay. So these are all the general things regarding to savings account. Okay, this much comfortable, everybody? Any confusion is there till now?